You are my playthings, and I get joy out of making you suffer.
All right, here's one. What's with the corn thing?
What corn thing?
Why are you afraid of corn? And don't say that you're not. You literally jumped out of your seat twice when you saw some.
Well, I don't know. It's got a bunch of little pods on it. Looks kind of like an egg sac or something. It's gross.
I was really shocked by this because sharing something that you have a honest anxiety towards, which Jax definitely does towards corn, that takes being vulnerable. That is a show of intimacy and friendship. And that's Jax having to take down his mask, which we've already spoken about, that he uses to keep himself safe. You can check out that video for a little bit more on the psychology of Jax. And so that is Jax and Pomni starting to bond, that he sees her and he feels safe enough to share something that is true about him, especially when for Jax, he's always worried about people seeing who he truly is and possibly using it against him or possibly getting more close to him. So let's take a look into a little bit more as to why and what's really happening between Jax and Pomni.
It's gross. Makes my skin crawl.
Interesting. Do you have like a type of trypophobia?
What's that?
The fear of lots of little holes.
Yeah.
It's a really common fear that lots of people do have, of things that have a lot of little holes and kind of have been replicated, even if they're not real. Some people can get a real icky feeling from that. Now I'm not going to show a photo of that just because even for people that you might not know that you have it, it can be really creepy.
Okay. How about pomegranates?
Awful.
I'm learning a lot about you today.
Let's not forget we're here to kill people.
You see a genuine, non-masked reaction from Jax. His voice doesn't have that cadence when he's being fake, and he shows an actual emotion of having someone get close and feeling that little bit of like a shy pshaw, like, oh, like why do you even care about me? And he feels a little bit uncomfortable with it, but it isn't in a horrific way. He doesn't get a strong anxiety reaction from Pomni getting close to him, which is the sign of a beginning of friendship. Friendship is about letting someone in to find out the true you, not just the you that you project to keep people away, to keep yourself safe, the fear of rejection or abandonment.
We still need to find out where Nutso went before we can rest easy.
I'm right behind you, aren't I?
There is something about the Pulp Fiction-esque scenes that Pomni and Jax also have, shows that kind of duo of two people that are very much, to me, like Jules and Vincent, these two people that are very different but are on a team together, and I think it's really cute, but it also shows the evolution of their friendship.
Oh, here's the light.
Huh.
High five!
Yeah!
And I want to show the high five because it is those kind of things of like bonding. We are a team that makes people feel like they belong. They're really important. Those things that people do to say that we are a group and we are together, having a team name, cheering each other on, high-fiving, fist bumping. These are different things, rituals and symbols that actually join people together as groups. That's why people see other people that wear similar clothing or like the same type of sports team as one of them, and they bond people together, which is really good for group formation and socialization and make people feel like they belong, and if they belong, then they're more safe. But that also means that people then can be on the out group, and that can cause a distance because we often feel comfortable with those that are on the inside and uncomfortable, and can sometimes demonize those that are on the out.
Ow.
I can get him.
Wait!
Trust me, partner, I got this.
So you see, Jax, naturally, he's actually protective of Pomni. He wants her to wait, he wants to do it together, he doesn't want her to rush off. His mannerisms and feelings are that he wants to keep her safe. He wants to do this together. He doesn't want her to run off. And if he really was this person that doesn't care about anyone else, that enjoys watching people suffer, this wouldn't happen. And so once he lets his guard down and lets someone in, he does genuinely care about people. And people that have this hard outer coating that want to keep people away, it's often because if people are inside, they're in that soft part where they can really be hurt by them. Or in the other case, especially which I think is for Jax, is that they can worry that they might hurt them or disappoint them or let them down. And then you see him, his exact thought is to look back on his friend. And you can take a look at the other video where I talk about his feelings of letting him down, not being able to keep him safe, and blaming himself for that. The thing is that if you keep everyone away, if you don't get close to them, then they can't hurt you and you can't hurt them, and you don't feel obligated to keep them safe, and then don't have to deal with the guilt of that. I think that this episode is really interesting because there's this huge juxtaposition of how Jax and Ragatha deal with guilt. I think that I'm probably going to do a Ragatha video just because the huge difference of the way that they handle guilt, the way that they cope with it. Both are maladaptive, but both very different. But both of them cause themselves to suffer for the things that they're dealing with. And right away, like during this scene, I was so hopeful that Jax was gonna go and save and protect Pomni, that he was gonna be there for her to make sure that she is safe. That thought of how he possibly feels that he let down his friend, that he doesn't want to have that happen again. And a lot of times when we feel a certain sense of guilt that we haven't done something right, we then try to live the rest of our life to make up for it, to try to change the past by changing the future, some sort of penance for something that we feel like we haven't lived up to. You really do want to go through that psychologically so that you can come to peace with things that happen. We are not perfect. We all make mistakes. We do the best that we can. You cannot carry someone else over the finish line. There's definitely a balance to that, but I think that a lot of people carry guilt when something bad happens, and for people that are hyper responsible, they usually take it on to themselves.
Guess that's the end of that. See you on the flip side.
Again, another one of those like buddy moments between both of them.
We did it! We make such a good team.
Two pieces to that fear of intimacy, that fear of letting someone get too close, of Jax pushing it away. Often if someone is too warm and you don't feel comfortable with that can be a really scary feeling. For a lot of people, intimacy and being close to someone else feels good and warm. But you can see that for Jax, that freaked him out a little bit. But it didn't seem like this was a response from trauma. It seemed like it scared him to be close. And it seemed to me it's that he would like to be close, but that caused him pain in the past. And when we've been hurt by someone being too close, we sometimes just default to a safer point, a point where they can feel control by stopping people from being too close to them. So that makes him feel like he can control. And if he pushes everyone away, then he doesn't have to worry about him hurting others, which is what I think that he feels. He plays this bad persona because then if you already think that he's this horrible person, he won't disappoint anyone and no one will get too close to him, so he doesn't have to worry about him being too close to them either. And in this case, Pomni just naturally has this personality type where he can be close to them and he enjoys spending time with them. And that can be really scary when you've already gone through something traumatic. And you see the mask come right back up. That can often happen when someone shows that genuine feeling and their mask goes down. That can cause a feeling of like, oh no, I have to hide behind something else because I don't feel comfortable enough sharing these emotions. It can feel really icky being vulnerable with someone else. Sometimes it's also that fear of judgment or that someone will use your emotions, your truth against you. And sometimes it might not be that they're actually meaning to use them against you, but that you might feel that they're using it against you because them bringing it up at another time when you're not ready or comfortable will feel like they're throwing a blanket back over you with these feelings that you want to shed in the first place. And so that can be really scary. And that's why you want to be very open about how you enjoy talking about your feelings or not, and when you'd feel comfortable or not with other people. But often when you fear intimacy, that's already way too intimate for you. And so you end up in this catch-22 where you don't want to have intimacy but you also do.
I suppose this is the part where one of us betrays the other.
Huh? Oh, yeah. You can betray me.
Oh,
And this one was so weird because yes, like Jack's persona, his archetype would be that would be something fun. If he's the one that always wants to play with other people's emotions and do horrible things to everyone, this would have been where I would have expected Jax to be the first one, similar to Pomni, if that was true. But in this case, he doesn't. And so right away, when someone does something that is outside of what they outwardly show as a person, those are really those significant moments where you want to ask what is happening here. When you do something that is different from your regular pattern. And for Jax, it is definitely that he feels a care towards Pomni, that him betraying her would actually hurt. It wouldn't be a game. That though he sees this digital circus as them just playing roles, his friendship to Pomni is real.
I thought this was gonna be a mutual thing.
Nah, go on, do it.
I don't really want to.
Lame! Come on, I thought you were cool.
We could just be winners as a team.
We're not a team, come on.
What do you mean? Yes, we are.
Delusional.
And that's that want to push other people away. Don't get too close to me. We can't be this. Trying to reset the balance, because sometimes having all of those feelings, especially when you haven't already dealt with your different traumas or bad things that have happened, those feelings can become overwhelming. You just don't have that emotional cup to be able to carry that. And so because of it, he wants to make sure that he keeps her at a safe distance. And that's why I think that he, even though he can't betray Pomni, that he would rather it be that Pomni would betray him, because then that would be a great reason to be able to push her away. And he's using words that are kind of demeaning, trying to taunt her, but they're not really harsh words. But compared to the way that Jax treats everyone else, this is quite tame. So even in that way, this is a mild form of who Jax could be.
If I shoot you right now, are we still gonna be friends afterwards?
We were never friends.
What about all that stuff you told me?
Yeah, I did tell you a lot, didn't I? Not looking forward to thinking about that tomorrow.
Which is common. A lot of times when people have issues with intimacy or having people close, after they go through all of this, oh my goodness, I can't believe that I told this person these things, and they can have all of this regret. And so you do want to make sure if someone has shared something, if they're a very closed person, they don't share a lot of their internal dialogue or the things that happen. You want to really give them some space and not bring it up. You might be really wanting to do that again because for you it might have felt really good, but you want to be really respectful of allowing the other person to come to you when they feel comfortable to it. You want to allow that space, but not push them into it, which will make them regret that they've shared it with you and then pull all the way back afterwards.
No, we're not doing this. You're not gonna look me in the eye and tell me nothing we've been doing together meant anything to you, because I know that's not true.
Are you coming on to me? Yeah, that's what everybody wants. A straight couple.
Oh my...
So Jax uses humor and aggression to keep people away, to be able to mock, so that he doesn't have to deal with things that are serious, things that are true. And he's doing his darndest to pull Pomni in, but she's not playing. She's staying on point, which is probably really frustrating for Jax because now she can see beyond the mask. She knows that there is a part of him that is hurt and scared underneath it, and that's the part that she wants to reach. And that's exactly the part that he wants to make sure that he can deflect in any way possible to keep her at a safe distance. And you would say that, is it disrespectful? I think that in this case, it's a fair thing for her to do because they really were friends and they really were close. And she wants to make sure that she's keeping it there.
Can you take anything seriously?
Dude, you're a cartoon clown. How am I supposed to take you seriously?
You reached out to me, not the other way around. You're just gonna pretend that didn't happen?
You must be misremembering.
Such gaslighting. Such gaslighting. It never happened. I didn't say that. It didn't mean anything. He's going through all of those things to be able to stonewall someone else in an argument so that they don't have to go there and they can make the discussion about something else. The thing is that Pomni really gets it. She understands. That's why she makes for a good friend for him. But also that's why that makes it really scary, because friendship means if you let someone in, that means that you could be hurt or crush them or not have control, because when you have feelings for people, the feelings take control on their own. And so for a lot of people, they may feel like it's just better to be alone. It's much easier, and I don't have to give up that control. That makes me feel safe. But safe doesn't mean happy, and sometimes we need to go into those danger zones in order to grow.
Is this why you didn't show up to Kaufmo's funeral?
I don't show up to any funerals.
Yeah, I bet you don't. Because you're scared. You're scared you'll actually show a human emotion.
I'm scared I'll be bored to tears.
Have you ever thought that this might be what causes people to abstract in the first place?
Oh my God! Are you seriously gonna blame me for something that everybody else did too? You didn't even know him! You don't even know what people are like before they abstract.
And there we have it. When someone states something that has nothing to do with anything else that you were speaking about, that's how you know what actually is happening in their inner dialogue. She's just talking about how him not dealing with his emotions, having all of that stress, pushing things away may cause that abstraction. And he's thinking about how he feels that guilt and blame for his friend, and that that's his fault. That the people that have had this happen, that he carries a certain amount of the blame. And he wouldn't have reacted so very strongly if he didn't actually fear that it's true. Which would mean that even though he doesn't want to, he feels a certain amount of guilt and responsibility to the other people, his friends in the digital circus.
They are not pleasant to be around. Like at all!
No. And that creepiness of him putting back on the mask, that is something that you can often see. That suddenly you can tell that they've gathered themselves back together and then they go back to their safe place. Often we do go back to a safe place, but the more that we practice that, even just going outside of your comfort zone, the more that you do it, the more comfortable that those non-comfortable places become. And that's how we grow.
What would you do if I abstracted tomorrow?
I'd move on. And probably forget about you.
Tone that doesn't come off as real, almost like this is, well, exactly like this being his perfect defense mechanism, what he wishes he could do. But his reaction to Pomni's reaction, I think, is really significant for Jax and shows his growth and who he really is.
Okay. Okay. I understand.
And there we have it, that look that Jax has. He really feels that he knows that these words actually hurt Pomni. And, look at that empathy from Jax. Him hurting Pomni hurt him. So no, to everyone that believed that Jax was a sociopath, he is not, because he had this reaction. It was not to his benefit, but when he did something even to protect himself, hurting someone else hurt him. He definitely has empathy and care for those around him. And you can tell also that he's disappointed a little in himself that he feels this way.
Jeez, you really can't take a joke, can you?
And then he tries to pull it back, which people often do when they say something that was just dumb. Sometimes we just say something without having it filter through, or we regret that we said it. Pomni's reaction just comes out as anger, which is also really kind of interesting for Pomni's psychology, but we're not going into that right now.
You're not the funny one!
I don't think that counts.
Sorry, it's just the face with the little tongue, like, it's not that I enjoy someone being, like, pummeled, but, like, you know, that little strange little thing is, like, hilarious to me.
Stop! What's wrong with you?
Why didn't you fight back?
Oh, here we go. Here we go!
And this is two things. One, why did Pomni in the first place fight Jax? Well, She did it because when someone doesn't give you any emotion, no reaction at all, that is the worst feeling ever. So often people in a fight, when the other person won't engage, they want to know that the other person cares. So non-engagement is the most painful thing. And so often they will up the ante so that we can get some sort of an emotion out of the other person. And that's exactly what Pomni is doing here. Any emotion is better than no emotion. It goes positive emotions first, negative emotions, because that's a reinforcement. It shows that there is a feeling, and no feeling is the worst of all. But Jax doesn't actually want to hurt Pomni, even when she is completely pummeling and strangling him, even though he could. How easy it is to fight her off, but he doesn't actually want to hurt her because he cares. It is the proof that he does care about Pomni on a really deep level.
Because I didn't fight back, that means I secretly care about you?
In this case, yes. Like, not always would that be the case, but in this case, yes, Jax, yes. That you didn't want to betray her, though that's in your nature. That you didn't fight back, that you were willing to share really dark, scary places of yourself with someone. Yeah, it hurt you when you said something to push Pomni away, and it really hurt her, that it hurt you. Yeah, it all shows that you do secretly care and deeply about her.
I'm just a misunderstood little chicken fetus in an egg that needs to be cracked open. Well, I am not. I do not care about you or anyone else in this circus in the slightest. End of story. You are my playthings, and I get joy out of making you suffer.
But he didn't, right? So words are cheap. Don't follow what someone says. Follow what their actions show you. And in this case, he didn't get any joy. He could have. She actually expected it. She was willing to do it, and he didn't want to, which shows that all of the stuff that he's saying for a secondary reason, which is to push her away in hopes of pushing her away so that he can feel control and safe and not have to feel bad.
There's nothing more to me. So please, just stop looking.
And that exhaustion after you've done all of that attempts, those defense mechanisms to keep your ego and yourself safe are exhausting because you have to constantly put it on because it's not the truth. You're hiding that kernel of who you actually are from the people that are there, and especially for the people that are getting the closest to you. And so that's that exhaustion and that frustration that it isn't working. He can tell that his defense mechanisms and feelings towards Pomni are growing, and it feels really horrible, but usually unconsciously, and especially for Jax, unconsciously, you also want that. Yes, Jax, there is so much more to you, which is what I think makes Jax such an interesting character psychologically because of all of that growth and all of those difficulties that he is slowly learning to overcome through this digital circus. If you want to create your own characters and remember each of their traits, wounds, and archetypes, you can make your own digital or non-digital world easier with today's sponsor, World Anvil. World Anvil is an amazing all-in-one software for tabletop gamers, fantasy novelists, or anyone who loves creative world building. World Anvil is not just one tool, it is 3 complete creative tool sets. It is a world building suite, RPG campaign manager, and a novel writing and publishing tool. And as someone who has battled with cave trolls in dungeons, run in the shadows, hammered wars, and basically played RPGs all my life, today's sponsor, World Anvil, is so incredibly perfect. Whether you are into game mastering, game planning, writing, doing all kinds of world building, World Anvil has you covered. It has interactive maps, tools to help you build an original setting for D&D, Pathfinder, and 45 plus different RPGs to keep your essential lore and stats one quick click away, and hassle-free prep for immersive settings that you get to see what millions of game masters, players, and writers are already raving about. And I'll just say it, it is bloody fun. If you're playing D&D like me, you can create your own worlds to really bring your campaigns to life. And it makes beating those digital friends of yours as easy as pie. If the Digital Circus has you inspired to create your own game or book, then World Anvil has what you need. Basically, it has all of the tools to help you write, organize, enjoy, and publish rich settings with complex characters. You get to write, world build, and manage the story all on a single platform. The world building is fun even if you're not making a module. It's a cornucopia of every RPG player or writer's dreams. Are your papers all over the place like mine? Have you ever lost a sheet of your character, be it in Waterdeep or Ravenloft or in the streets of Shadowrun? Well, you don't have to worry with World Anvil. It has one website to rule them all and keep them all safe. And you can sign up completely free. And because you are watching this video, yes, you are going to get to try out World Anvil for a limited time for 51% off of an annual membership just by using the code Georgia Dow. Yes, use my code. Just click on the link in the description and use the code Georgia Dow for 51% off, which is a wonderful way to test it out and see if you like it. Clicking on that link helps out my channel, so thank you. And thank you so much to World Anvil for sponsoring this video. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.